Hello, my name is Darlene. Welcome to Standstrong, a fun, educational, inspirational, and motivational show about people overcoming life's obstacles.
Hello, welcome to Stand Strong. I'm your host, Darlene Luff, and I'm really looking forward to sharing today's episode. Today's guest is no stranger to Stand Strong. He's been a former guest talking about autism and what it's like to be a young parent with a child with autism. And I thought I'd bring him back because he's been up to some pretty interesting, amazing things in support of autism. So at this time, I'd like to introduce once again Mark Autoricio. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for coming. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself?
Well, first, let me say that I'm Mark. My son is 7 years old. He's amazing. He's an amazing kid. He's on the autism spectrum. And it's been quite the journey with him, you know. It had its ups and downs, but I'm here to talk about it and spread my message to the world. You know,
it's incredible, and it takes a lot of strength, and it takes a lot of courage to come on and to speak of it and be the voice for little ones that can't be the voice. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about Franco, how old he is? And I see you're wearing a T-shirt that says Franco and Friends, One Lucky Dad. Tell our viewers a little bit about what is Franco and Friends.
All right. Well, Franco and Friends is basically, it's an online community where people who are curious about autism, you could be a parent, you could have autism, a friend, or anybody that's, you know, affected by autism in any way. You can go there. It's an online community for resources, pretty much anything you want to find out. When I started Franco and Friends, you know, it started with just an idea because when we were going through it, you know, it was tough going through the whole diagnosis, you know, and missing different milestones and different parts of it. So my idea was to create a community where parents can go and have what I wish I had when we were going through it, where they can go and, like I said, ask questions. They can, you know, just communicate with other parents going through the same thing, get answers, talk about their struggles, you know, celebrate their successes, and just have basically a place to go and to know that they're not the only ones going through it, and what they're going through it's normal, and we've all been through it, and there is light at the end of the tunnel, and they can get through it.
That's fantastic. I understand you have contact information. If you would, could you post up the email address and website that people can contact Franco and Friends? Now, Franco and Friends, you had said you started as a support group because you yourself, when you were going through it, you didn't know of any places that you could go to for help. I'd like to ask you, how did you learn that your son, are there specific signs that people should look for in their child to give them red flags?
Yeah, there is. There's a few red flags. And let me first start off by saying that, I mean, there's a few different types of autism, but the main types of autism is classic autism and regressive autism. So classic autism is what I believe, but then I'm not a doctor, I'm just saying from my experiences.
Personal experience.
That when the child is born with autism and shows, you know, the signs and the symptoms and the red flags, which I'll get into in a second, and then you have regressive autism where they'll be developing, typically hitting their milestones, and then all of a sudden they'll lose everything and they'll regress into autism, and they can lose a lot of everything they learned. They'll lose their speech. They can, if they were potty trained, for instance, they can lose that, and it's regressive, you know? So, so again, the red flags, you know, is the first ones we noticed was Franco wasn't talking at all, and he was making no attempts to talk. He wasn't answering to his name. He wasn't pointing. He was flapping his hands a lot. He would get very excited, overly excited, which is, we know now, is stimming, you know, and he would make a lot of, you know, noises, and which is oral stereotomy. And it was just when he did walk, I mean, he hit all his milestones late again. You know, he didn't hit anything the typical time that he was supposed to. So that was obviously a red flag as well.
And how old was he when you realized that there may be something?
Well, let me start off by saying with Franco, I believe that he has classic autism because he never was developing typically. He was never, you know, hitting his milestones like he was supposed to. We noticed very early that there was definitely something going on. We didn't know what it was at the time. Like, for instance, like I said, stimming, which is, you know, flapping your hands and making oral noises, what he was doing. And he would get so overly excited. He would flap his hands, kick his feet. And at the time, we were just like, oh, wow, he's so cute. It was so cute. We didn't realize, you know, that it was a sign of autism because we didn't know. We were oblivious to it, you know? So we saw that. And then, like, again, he wasn't pointing. He wasn't showing any eye contact. And he was making no attempts to talk.
So how did you finally come to the point where you said, I think we need to find out that there might be something different about Franco? What did you do?
Well, the first thing we did was we called his pediatrician to schedule an appointment and to talk about what we, you know, saw that was going on. And when the first appointment that we saw with the doctor, he said that his words I know autism when I see it, and that's not autism. So
really?
That's what he said. And he said he's a boy. Usually boys, you know, they can start talking later than girls. And, you know, it's pretty normal what he's doing. So we trusted him because you trust your doctor. You know what I mean? And then fast forward, I think this might have been even at like 12 months where this was going on, or 16 months. And so fast forward a few more months, still no progress. He wasn't talking. He wasn't doing any of those things that he was supposed to be doing. And this time we called the doctor to schedule another appointment. And this time we had in our minds that we were not leaving until we got a referral to a specialist, you know, and that's what we got from his pediatrician gave us a referral to a neurologist. And that's how we got the diagnosis, was through the neurologist.
And how old was he?
He was 18 months when we got the diagnosis.
Wow. Unbelievable. And at 18 months, I mean, what type of programs did you start putting him into at 18 months?
There's a few different programs. So the first one that we really looked into was ABA, which is Applied Behavioral Analysis. And that was the biggest one for us. It's basically a way of teaching the kids to work on to learn by a reward system, in a way. I hate to even say it like this, but in a way, like when you teach a puppy and you give a puppy, you know, treats when the puppy does something good, in a way you use the child's interests to prompt him for positive behaviors. So if they are displaying positive behaviors, you reward the behavior, because things as simple as, you know, starting a conversation, or little things like playing with toys. Franco didn't play with toys the right way. When he played with toys, he would just line them up all over the house. You know, there was one point where like there was just lines of toys, you know, or he'd spin the wheels. So you have to teach them things that simple that you would never even think. And this is basically what that does. It teaches your kid everything from, you know, and then the other main ones are obviously OT and speech. So occupational therapy and speech therapy. And those are the main ones. I mean, ABA definitely was great for us. So
that's amazing. For your being so young and having a child, your first child with autism, and being such a positive inspiration for young people, for anyone that may be going through your situation, I admire that.
Thank you.
It shows a lot of strength and a lot of courage, and I'm sure that it's not easy. Franco and Friends, congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much.
For creating a place for people to go to. And I understand that you have merchandise now.
Yep.
And these hats are part of them, and T-shirts. How can one, are they available to the public?
They will be available on the website, which is francoandfriends.org. And it will just be basically going back into the community to help us, get more resources and, learn more stuff to pass on to the community and help everybody.
What is your mission with Franco and Friends?
All right. So, this is one that I went back and forth with a lot because as I was, researching into other organizations and communities that were doing similar things, they all had long mission statements that, were very drawn out, I felt like. So at the end of the day, our mission statement is just to improve the quality of life for anybody affected by autism. And I think that is just the main thing. It doesn't matter how you're affected. You don't have to have autism yourself. Anybody that autism affects, that's what we want to do. We want to help that.
That's amazing. Do you find that autism has always been out there, or do you find that it's more and more common? People just didn't know it existed.
Well, it's definitely, so there's a couple different sides to that, because a lot of people, the rate of autism is definitely growing at a staggering rate. 20 years ago, it was 1 in every 10,000 child. And now, fast forward 20 years, and it's 1 in 59.
Wow.
So, that's a big jump, and you have a lot of people saying that, it's because we have better detection now and we're paying more attention to it. But I'm sure that has some to do with it, but it's not all of it. So, it's definitely growing at a scary rate,
That's amazing. I understand, though, Franco is now, how old?
7 years old.
He's 7 years old. But Franco has taken milestones. If you could pull up a picture of Franco, milestones of things that you as a parent would never think he would do. There he is. I understand that he just took part in a commercial?
Yes, he did.
Could you tell our viewers a little bit about that?
Yeah, so my brother-in-law works at Ira Toyota, and every year my niece goes there, and she does a commercial for it. They have a bunch of kids, and they do like a little commercial, they cheer. And Franco, it was the day that my sister was picking up Franco from school, so she brought Franco there, and when they were doing all the filming, Franco asked if he could be in the show.
He just came out and asked on his own?
He just asked. He said, yeah, I would love to. And he just went out there. He did it all on his own.
Oh, my gosh.
So it was pretty amazing to watch.
He must have been so excited.
Oh, my God. It's amazing seeing the things he's doing.
And another amazing thing that he has done, sometimes depending on autism and the I don't know how to word it, the extent of a child's autism, they're not able to read or communicate. But it's my understanding that Franco actually read a story to his class.
Yes, he did.
Can you tell our viewers a little bit about that?
His favorite book is The Ugly Duckling. And so his teacher would always say that Franco, he's doing a great job reading, but we had a hard time at home getting him to read and to be, interested in that. So one day we get a video from his teacher, and it's a video of Franco sitting in front of the class on a stool reading The Ugly Duckling to his class.
Oh my gosh.
It was, it was really amazing.
So he's grown with, do you believe that, obviously, when you're a parent, you love your children no matter what, but even more when they're special, and Franco is very special, a very special young little boy.
Yes.
That it is very important for family and parents to get involved, that these children will have the ability to live, I don't like using this word, but a normal life and be functionable within the community, but you have to stick to it.
Yeah, I'm not going to say, every child has the same, ceiling as what they can achieve as far as autism goes. You have higher functioning and lower functioning. Some, you have some that can talk and you really can't even notice that much they have autism. And then you have others that are nonverbal and they have to use like an iPad to communicate and things like that. So, it's really tough to say because no matter what, like you said, you love your kid and you want it. I think it's really important that everybody is, on board and gets involved. You're going to have a much better outcome if everybody is involved, So, but back to the diagnosis, that to me, that's not I don't like to get into the high functioning, low functioning talk. The only reason I even, recommend people and I stick to it is to get the diagnosis is because it makes you available to receive so many benefits. But it's like you go online and a lot of people oh, my son's a level, they have like levels now. And to me, that's not what it's important,
Do you believe that, well, obviously each child is their own person and special and unique in their own way, so that there's different, we talked earlier about signs, certain signs to look for. But as you said, the spectrum is so wide.
Yeah.
So how would one know if they didn't have, if a child was performing just, a regular basis, but later on? Is it possible for a child to be perfectly functionable and hit a certain age and then?
Well, it is up to a certain point. That's why, I really don't even want to get into the debate about the vaccines, but that was like a big debate if vaccines were causing autism or not. And that is because most of the time after they received their vaccines at like the 18-month mark, a lot of kids would regress into autism.
Really?
Yes. So that's where that came from. And I'm not, like I said, it's a debate for another time, So
I understand. I mean, it's, I had that thought too.
Yeah,
not just on autism, but many other issues when it comes to vaccine. And you're right, that would be another show.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Franco and Friends, you just did, if I'm not mistaken, the Autism Walk.
Yes.
Can you tell us about the Autism Walk?
So we do it every year. We've been doing it now for, I think this was our 5th year. And basically we just do a fundraiser online. People donate. It goes to helping, autism awareness, and Autism Speaks. And all of our family, friends, they all come out and we do the walk in honor of Franco. And it's just, they have a lot of stuff there. They have a lot of resources, different things you can learn. All different types of people come there, and you learn a lot from all the different types of people.
And where is the walk held?
It's in the Boston Commons.
The Boston Commons?
Yep.
Now, does Franco take part?
Oh, yeah, he does.
Yeah,
he does.
Does he like it?
He
does he get involved?
Yeah. It's a big difference from when we first started. At the beginning, it was like tough to take him. He didn't want to do it, and he was, he wasn't into it. But now it's totally different.
Does he know it's
he does.
all about Franco?
We told him that it was his party. So all day he kept saying, "Oh, it's my party, it's my party."
Oh,
yeah, so,
how cute is that?
Yeah.
Now, do you have a team?
Yes.
And what's the name of the team?
Team Franco and Friends.
Is there any contact information that you have if people would like to donate to Franco and Friends?
Yeah, you can go to francoandfriends.org, and from there you can get to the page to donate money.
Fantastic. I mean, it's amazing. And I must share with you all at home, I have a personal connection with Mark. Mark is my family. Mark is my nephew. And Franco is my great-nephew. So it's a personal as well as a very important message that I share this and his story with you all. And again, I thank you for coming on and sharing.
For having.
Do you have, first let me ask you, have you thought about having any other children? And if so, are you afraid that, is autism something that is passed on? Is it hereditary?
It can be. A lot of times, if you have one child with autism, usually, it increases the chances of having another child with autism. Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So have you thought about having other children, or do you want to make the absolute best of what you have with Franco? Or is he asking for another baby?
Yeah, he wants to be a big brother. He does. And as far as that goes, that was our thought for a long time, was to, at the time, not to have another kid, because we felt that it was necessary to focus all of our energy on helping Franco. and to put everything into that. And in a way, I mean, of course, no matter what, you have another child, you love the child.
Yes, obviously.
But we felt at the time we had to put so much into him that we didn't, obviously we would have had the love to give, but we wanted to focus it all on Franco and to give him the best life we could possibly give him.
That's amazing. Now, I understand that Franco is now 7, and he was in not special schools, but he was in schools that were able to deal with autism and a little bit more. But it's my understanding that Franco now attends public school.
Yes, he does.
And can you tell our viewers a little bit about how's he doing? How's he fitting in with it?
He's doing great. He loves it. He talks about it. He talks about his friends that he's meeting, which is amazing. I love that he's making friends, and it's really amazing to watch, to hear him say, "Oh, I played with my friends," because it was like for a long time he didn't, being a child with autism, that's another, you don't have too many friends, especially going to the school that he went to. It was, like you said, a special school, so a lot of kids weren't from the same area. They would come from far away, so he didn't have any friends from there that lived close by. So now living in Danvers and going to school in Danvers, he's meeting new friends, and we're hoping to, get his own little crew going and get him, a bunch of friends to hang out with.
That is amazing. Is he starting to be more social in understanding? You have to play nice, you have to share, because it's my understanding sometimes that's part of early autism, is that they don't share because they don't understand.
And I mean, yes, he's doing much better, and particularly for him being an only child. So sharing is, what I mean, everything is his. So it was tough, but he's definitely, that's one of the main things with, like I said, ABA, that they teach you how to share and, how to start a conversation, how to play, how to do all those and take turns, stuff like that. And he's doing much better at it. He's definitely much better at sharing now. He's got his niece that he hangs out with all the time. So they got a little
cousin.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I'm like,
sorry,
niece.
Cousin, I meant. Yes, I'm sorry. That's right.
No, that's okay.
But yeah, so they hang out all the time. So he's learning a lot from her. Sharing. It's like they, they fight like brother and sister, but they love each other.
That's amazing. Now, I know that because we're related and we both love music, and America's Got Talent. We both watched this particular show, and there was a young man on there. His name was Cody. Was it
Lee.
Cody?
Cody Lee. Yep.
Cody Lee was, if I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong, was born with autism, but he was also born blind.
Yes.
He actually won America's Got Talent. How do you feel about that? Does it give you hope that Franco could be the president someday if he wanted to?
Yeah, it's just, shows you that it's truly limitless, and you can achieve, whatever you want to achieve in life, and that having autism isn't going to hold you back, and you can break barriers and be who you want to be and live a great life. It doesn't matter if you have a diagnosis or not.
That's amazing. Again, I want to say, having you on the show and your strength and sharing your story is remarkable. Thank you so much for helping others. I like to give my guests gifts. And I'm doing something a little differently than I normally do. I would like to present you with this. This is a candle, and it has the Standstrong logo on it. And I would like to give it to you. Why a candle, you ask? Because Standstrong is a fun, educational, motivational, positive show about spreading the light and spreading positivity. So I would like to pass this on to you and spread the light. And thank you for sharing your story and being a part of that light. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers? One last thought.
I mean, the biggest thing, is that I want to pass on is to be more accepting and be more open, and that you don't have to fit into this box that everybody tells you have to fit into. And if you have, I want to make it to encourage these unique gifts and all these, different things. There's a big saying in the autism community different, not less. And I think that's very powerful, you know, not just for autism, but in every aspect of life. And I think we should encourage, you know, being different and stepping outside the box and being who you want to be.
That's amazing. And again, if you could put up the contact information for Franco and Friends and this email address, people would be able to contact you. And
Yep, I will always respond, and they can always get in touch with me there.
That's amazing. I have to say, again, heartfelt thank you. And thank you for sharing Franco with not just us, but with the world, and for being the amazing parent and person and voice that you are.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this platform to spread our message and to, you know, to get the awareness and the acceptance out there. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. It's an honor. It's an honor. And for you viewers at home, I hope you took something out of today. It was a very special show. And if you know anyone that's been touched by autism, please contact Mark. The email address will be put up again. Again, as always, thank you so much for joining us. It is with much love, peace, and hope. Remember to always stand strong. Till next time.